Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to be planting the newly created bed here on the very front of our house. This is part, of course, of that front yard landscape redesign that we are in the thick of. It is construction zone around here, absolutely. So we are going to be adding in a beautiful, fun specimen tree to the center. We have got blooming evergreens that we're going to add in there. We've got perennial grasses. We have got hydrangeas. Just about you name it, butterfly bushes. They are going to go in here. It is going to be a fun project. We're getting started a little later in the afternoon than what we anticipated. You know, life happens, life gets in the way. You do what you can when you can, and that is what we are doing today. So Jackson and Jerry are on one of those little life's unexpected moments kind of situations that they are taking care of. They'll be joining us here in a little bit. So while we wait on them, we're going to talk about the space and the plants that are going into this area. So of course, what we're talking about is our whole entire front yard landscape is getting a major redo. You saw the other day that they got the edging put in on the side of this side of the driveway, and Jesus and Heriberto are working on this side today, so they are working hard, and we are going to be focusing our attention here on this this newly created bed. Now, part of the bed has always been here. You can see we've got our crepe myrtles, we have got the daylilies coming through here, and so the daylilies in the past, for the past 20 years, have always come straight up to the driveway. We had to rip out some of those daylilies and tear up the bed that had been here because of when we put in the new drainage for the driveway. It had to come straight through this flower bed, and so we had to dig those up. So while you're digging, might as well make things bigger, right? So that's kind of a I can't even tell you what kind of shape this is. It's basically kind of square on two sides, and then this front part is nice and big and rounded. Where you see the hose and the white spray line, that is where the flower bed edge is going to be. So when the boys get back, that'll be one of the first things they do is come through here with the bed edger, makes a nice sharp edge. It will cut through the grass, and we will have a nice hard edge here all the way down. So basically everything to the left of the hose is going to be the new flower bed. You can see that we had to bring in some soil to build this bed up. So this is just our native red clay soil that we had off on another piece of the property during a project. We had extra soil, piled it up, brought it over here. So you got all that red clay, and we are going to go ahead and top dress before we do any planting with the Black Gold Ultra Outdoor planting mix. Great, rich compost. So we will lay all these bags out, open them up, spread them out, and then as we're drilling the holes, that gets mixed in. Yes, somebody was asking, I think it was actually on today's video that I had posted, and they were like, "You're using Land and Sea, but I thought you had switched to Black Gold." Y'all, we can use more than one product. Like, there can be more than one good product out there, right? Land and Sea is a great product. The Ultra Outdoor Planting Mix is a great product. You can use it interchangeably. You don't have to go to one camp or the other. It's okay to use both products, and that is what we are doing. So that is what will happen, and then when we finish, of course, we will top dress it with that Daddy Pete, the pine bark mulch that we use. Because of the time period today, we may get that done today, we may not get that done today. I just want to get the plants in the ground. Get them in the ground, and then we can move from there. All right, so speaking of plants, what are we going to use? So the star of the show, the one that I am so stinking excited about, is my sweet little umbrella pine. So we've talked about this multiple times. I just got it a week, 2 weeks ago from our friends at Stone Nursery. So this is a Japanese pine. It is called an umbrella pine, and it is kind of in that standard form. So you can see that it has got a nice, big, thick trunk on it, just that classic pine trunk, right? And it is in that standard form, so it has been limbed up. I will keep it in this shape. So as it grows, I will keep it in a standard form. But it is a very lovely, sweet, soft pine. It has no prickability, right? It is just really a great one. You can come through here. The birds are going to have a field day this winter. They are going to be building their nest in here. It is going to be great. You can see that it is candling. This is what you call pines. When they start to put on that new growth, this is a candle. And so all of this is great, beautiful new growth. The needles will actually come up and grow here. And the umbrella pine, it says that it will whirl. So it's gonna have some fun, funky shape to it, right? So of course at the nursery and transition, they kind of keep it a little bit shaped. We're gonna let this top have lots of fun and just have a field day with it. So this will go out, it's gonna be, like I said, the specimen, the star of the show. Don't know the exact location yet, but basically in the top in the center, kind of towards somewhere in that area, right? So this is gonna be the star of the show and we will work from her. Let's see my specs on it. It does love the full sun. It will do great in the full sun. I had a tag somewhere. I don't even know now, but it is, you know, it's a pine, so it's a moderate grower. And of course, your first year, whenever you're planting trees, that first year is the absolute most critical. You want to make sure that it gets water. This bed is not on irrigation, but the well, remember the well? We've been at the well many times. The well is just right there. I have a hose, so all I have to do is hook another hose up to it and I can water everything in until basically my fall, winter rains come, and then I can not worry about it. Next summer, if we hit that really hot spell, which we will, the hot spell with no rain, then again, I will make sure and come in here and give it a good deep watering at least once a week. Basically, if you can get your trees and your shrubs through the first year, typically you're okay, you're good. But that first year is very, very critical. So that is gonna be the star of the show. Next, what we're going to do is, I think this will be the best way, kind of here on the border, all the way around towards the front, because that's what we had originally in this bed. And we have them right just across the street right here is the Perfecto Mundo double white azalea. We are in North Carolina, a zone 8A, and we do love our azaleas here in the South. So we have got some gorgeous, I mean, they are stunning. Look at those beautiful foliage on these guys. And so your Perfecto Mundos are that reblooming azalea with that pure double white flower on it. Hardy in zones 6B to 9. Basically for us, it'll be 3 feet tall, 4 feet wide. Definitely needs that full sun. And yeah, you get that gorgeous reblooming. You get a heavy flush in the spring. You get a smattering, I say, in the summer. And then in the fall, you get another gorgeous display. So having that nice big pop of white right here. So we're gonna actually have them here, across the street, and then when we do the berm later on this fall, we'll have them in there. So it brings kind of consistency to this space. Not that there's going to be a ton at everywhere, but it'll give us some consistency there. So that's going to be on the front edge, is that nice evergreen white blooming azalea. So love that. Next, I think we're, you know us, in my brain, I think this is how it's going to go, but just, it's a game time decision. Next, we're gonna go for another evergreen. I've never grown this, but it is so stinking cute. It had grabbed my attention as soon as we heard about it at Spring Meadow, I guess last year, the year before. This is called Berry Box. And Berry Box is that great evergreen. It is a, I'm probably gonna butcher this, a comeless, I don't know, it's a cross between two different ones. That's why you've never heard of it. But it is a cross between pyracanthus and something else. I forget right off the top of my head. But this great evergreen, hardy in zones 7 or 6B to 9, is going to be a 3.5 feet tall, 3 feet wide. So you can see she's going to have a little funky shape to her, right? So she's got some interest. So the fun thing is, as you can see, that it's got berries. Well, in the spring, those berries are little white flowers. So the berries have now formed, kind of like a viburnum. If you're familiar with viburnums, like the brandywine, all the glitters and glows, how they have the flowers and then those flowers turn into the berries. So we've got the green berries right now, and as the season progresses, these berries are going to turn flaming red. So you're gonna have all sorts of great interest. If you can see that picture, right? Kind of reminds you of a holly, but it is not pokey like a holly. So these guys, with their fun, funky shape, are going to go behind the azaleas. I think. Again, we'll see. So that's kind of where that's going to happen. So we've got that going on. Then we're going to, at first, we are going to do some butterfly bushes. We're going to use the butterfly candy. At first, I was going to use the little lavender. But little lavender, I have 4 of. A little raspberry, I have 6 of. So I think we're going to switch and put a little raspberry in here, which is just a brighter raspberry pink. 3x3, of course, butterfly bushes love the sun. The butterflies love them. They smell fragrant. They are fantastic. So because we can use 6 of them and we can kind of spread them out and fill in and kind of go down in front of the daylilies, we're going to use that. And then we're going to save these little lavenders that I have right here. The little lavenders are actually going to go at the base of the Electra Blue cedar, closer to the house. So we're going to save these and we're going to have to go grab the little raspberries. So we've got that. Then there's like the plants, they keep multiplying. I'm not sure who keeps like going and getting the plants and bringing them to the house and like planting all these things. I don't know who that is, but my word. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the chameleon grass. This is a schizochyrium, a little blue stem. And so chameleon, we have got 2, 4, 6, and then there's one more at the house I'm going to use. We're going to use these. This is a beautiful grass. It will be basically 2 feet tall. It is called chameleon because it changes colors. It is taking on its fall hues right now, getting some pinks and reds throughout the summer. It's mostly green and white. It'll put on the plumes, so it's starting to get its little plumes right here. So this will bring a different texture, a different some movement to the garden, and it will tie in because we're going to be using these also in front of the house. So we'll have them in this flower bed, and then we will have them also at the house. So that's why we're going to be using these chameleons. And then last but not least, so before I show you these hydrangeas, we're just going to go ahead and say bless their heart, okay? So bless their heart on these tiny quickfires. Tiny quickfire is a fantastic, it's probably one of the most petite, if it's not the most petite panicle hydrangea out there. I love quickfires. They are fantastic. We were growing these because we were going to put them in the berm, and I was like, let's put some in here. We still may put some in the berm because we have more. But evidently this summer they hit a period of stress. I don't know if the water didn't work or what happened. But we're going to bless their heart because they're a little rough looking. Now, they are not dead. They are recovering. In fact, they're flowering. But you'll see what I mean. They're not super full and lush. So the tiny quickfire, like I know that it's okay because like look at this one, right? We have got beautiful, really tight, compact blooms on it. It's forming more buds right here. And this, you may say, well, that's dead, but it actually bends. Like it's got some flexibility to it. So we know that they're okay. So we've got actually 2, 4, 6 of these guys here. And so yes, they look a little rough. Basically what I'm saying is, see like this one pushing out new growth, it's fine. And they may push out tons of new growth once they get in the ground. So yes, we are blessing their hearts and just say, you know what, y'all just really need to go sleep for the winter. When you wake up in the spring, you'll feel much better and be much happier and perkier. It's kind of like a toddler. Just put them to bed, give them some food, put them to bed, and they'll wake up and be perfect. So that's what we're saying about these tiny quickfires. So the tiny quickfires, I think what we're going to do is because, of course, when we removed the daylilies so that we could see this bed, we want to be able to see this from our front porch because if you know us, we sit on our front porch all the time. So we're really going to kind of focus on putting the hydrangeas more on this side. So maybe on this side, you've got the umbrella right here, maybe a butterfly bush back in through there, some grasses smattering through there. So it kind of works from low up to high, the high point being the tree, and then we can kind of work our way down from there as well. So that is what the plan is. So first things first is we're going to get the soil opened up, spread out, and then Jerry and Jackson, they have come back. So give them a couple minutes. One of them will come down here, probably Jerry, I don't know, somebody's gonna come down here, and then we'll get the bed edged. And then I'm pretty sure we're gonna use machinery because this is a wide open space through here that we can drill all the holes because it would make life a whole lot easier to do that. So just come join us for the ride. My friends, we enlisted some recruits to help us with this project. Oh my goodness, this is a fun bed. Now this is, other than the umbrella pine and the Perfecto Mundos, I really had no kind of idea how things were gonna get placed out. But I love how it's coming together. So let me give you a little rundown on where everything is placed and then how we are planting them. Yes, we did pull out the big guns for this project. So basically the umbrella pine is in the center. It's kind of behind Jerry at the moment, but with the Perfecto Mundos, they can spread up to be 4 feet wide. So we space them 4 feet apart. That way at maturity, they would just kiss one another. Then this first one, I came in 4 feet so that, we'll start over, Megan. So for this first one, we came in 4 feet because we think as long as we have enough edging, we're gonna have edging on the side of the driveway, and I wanna have plenty of room. So this one came in 4 feet, they're spaced 4 feet apart on center, and then from the edge of where the bed is going to be, we came back, it was 36 inches, I wanna say, something like that. Cece was the one doing the measuring. So that way it can come out as 2 feet this way and still have like 18 inches. So we don't have to worry about it going over into the grass. So we just looped those all the way around and came around with those because those are gonna frame the bed. And then with this last one, we started to kind of swoosh it back up. So this is still has the same spacing as everybody else. This one we tucked back further and we brought it in case at some point we want to do something different here, we can have it where it kind of all ties in together. Then with the berry box, we've got 3 of them. We're gonna have 3 of them together. We've got a group of the 3 grasses together. The butterfly bushes, we just kind of space those here all the way around. There's not a huge rhyme or reason to them, but we do have those sections of them here and then one right here, and then we have a solo one back there behind Cece. I was watching a video with Jim Putnam, and he had the little raspberry, and his was every bit of 3 feet tall. So that's why we wanted to kind of bring them here down a little bit so they can get tall. And because we're on a slope, it'll all work together. So I wanted to make sure that the pine has plenty of room to show off, and I don't want to crowd the pine whatsoever. I want you to be able to see that pine all the way around. And so I didn't want to put those butterfly bushes or the grasses too close to it to hide its beauty. So that's what we did there. And then this grass is kind of here or there. I did not want to, other than the azaleas, I didn't want anything in like straight lines and that. I wanted them to have kind of groupings together. So we've got another grouping of the berry boxes here. So we have a group of 3 here and a group of 3 here down on the end. We got grass in the middle. We got butterfly bushes in the middle. We've got another grass here on the end. Now, kind of on the driveway side, the side of the umbrella pine, we do have a hole. So this is the last butterfly bush, and then there's not anything until where Jerry is, where there is a grass kind of right here. So we've got a nice little hole right here, and that doesn't bother me at all because that just leaves me room to put something else there. So whether I choose later to do, maybe I want to put some echinacea there, or some sort of low growing perennial. Maybe it's nepeta. I don't know what it could be. Something blue would be fun because I don't have anything blue in here, so maybe nepeta would be a neat one to do. But that leaves me open to possibilities to put things in right there. Or maybe this summer, I put the evolvulus, the Blew My Mind evolvulus. Super low annual, beautiful true blue flowers, and it loves the sun and it loves neglect. So that would be a great thing to put right there. So see, I just have to kind of talk it through, and then I kind of figure it out. Sometimes I just have to sit on something for a little bit, and then it works out. So then coming alongside from the house side portion of it, then we've got the tiny tough stuff in here. So we did 6 and we kept it simple. Those are, I guess you could say, were kind of in a line, but they're window paned back and forth with that one grass right here. So it all kind of flows in together. Where it flows in together, but it's not formal whatsoever. My tendency is not to be a formal garden planter. My tendency is to be a cottage garden planter. Like, I like to mix all the colors and textures. And so this is really fun for me, and I think this will work out quite nicely. So as you can see, Greg, power planter, sorry, we're not using the Jenny's auger on this because 1, it's late in the day and we're getting tired. 2, this soil that Chandler and Jackson brought this in and then compacted clay, and also we have the machinery. We got the big auger, right? And so this really fluffs up the soil. It gets it all mixed in there together. And so, yeah, could we do this with the power planter? Absolutely we could. But at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, yeah, I'm going the easy way, and we're gonna use the machinery. So we're drilling the holes. So basically they're taking turns, the girls, Cece and Brittany, moving the plants so that when Jerry sees where they go, then they move the plant, he drills the hole, and then they stick them back in the hole. So then what we're gonna do is come back together. As soon as I hop off with you, I'm gonna go through and start throwing biotone in the hole, pulling the plant out, putting it in, and bringing the native soil back. So that's the plan. Very seriously doubt that we're gonna get this mulch today. We can wait and do this in like the cool of the morning tomorrow. But yeah, I don't see us getting this mulch today. So this is gonna be one of those kind of a long-term project, in the fact of it's not gonna happen all in just a matter of a few short hours, because why kill yourself? There's no point. So what we're gonna do, get them biotone and start getting them planted. Ta-da, she's done. For today, she's done. So everybody is in, they got the biotone, they got a nice little hole, a new home for them, and I got them watered. So there you go, my friends. Yeah, it's in. Now, it's not all glamorous yet. We already have butterflies on little raspberry over there. So everybody, like I said, got nice and watered in. The red clay is fun when you get it wet, but there you go. So yeah, it is in. We will go ahead and in the next day or so get this mulched and then keep it well watered. Watching the news last night, they said we're not supposed to get any rain till next week, so that's going to be at least 5 or 6 days probably before we get any rain. So just need to keep them watered, because that is the big thing when you're installing a landscape, whether it's the fall or spring or summer or whenever it is those first couple of weeks you need to make sure that they have adequate water so those roots can start to go out, because even though, anyway, just the first couple of weeks, keep an eye on them. So with the temperatures are going to be kind of moderate, so I probably won't have to water tomorrow, but I'll water the next day. So kind of every other day, and then you go every 3 days or maybe every 4 days and kind of space it out like that. The good thing is, like the butterfly bushes, they will let you know when they are dry. And it's not that they're dry, it's just that they had a really extensive root system. So then when we broke up that root system just a little bit, they started to get a little wilty. And it is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon with this warm sun pouring down on it. But very, very happy with how everything turned out. We've obviously got to come back through here and just do some fine tuning on the soil, because this was that fill dirt. So you've got some sticks in here, there was some rocks. We need to shore up umbrella right here on the corner. But you know, this is the process, right? You don't have to do a whole big project, because this was a good sized project. There were a ton of plants in here, and so a huge shout out to Brittany and Cece for coming over and helping us, and that makes all the difference. So just pace yourself, my friends, right? There is grace in gardening, and you don't have to have it from start to perfect completion at the end. First of all, there is no such thing as perfect completion, but you know what I mean. So we just take our time with it and keep everybody watered, and all will be well. So yes, it continues. And then Jesus and Heriberto got this portion on the left side of the driveway, got that in. So they were working kind of solo today, so they got all of this portion in, and then they did, first thing this morning, started up at the wall and got part of that down. There is still a gap that they have to do, but this was a great thing to get this done. So little bit by little bit, and then this morning, I'm not going to show you because that will be a teaser. This morning I started placing some more plants in the shade garden on the side of the driveway. So I'm letting them sit there to see how they can acclimate, because some of the hydrangeas are going to get a little bit more sun than maybe they've been used to. So we're kind of letting them see. But we'll fill you in on that whole video project whenever it comes around. All right, we're tired. We're not making any sense. It is time for a snack and a shower and supper in bed. So that way we can have fun doing all of this again tomorrow. If you have found this fun and informative, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. A huge shout out, thank you to the folks again at Butterfly Candy for supplying us all these beautiful butterfly bushes. We've got just a couple more to go to get in the ground, and man, we're gonna have an amazing season for the rest of this year, and then next year the butterflies are going to go nuts as they already are. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.